uh, right now. What's going on, YouTube? I'm your host, Leon Gunn, still with JT Vega and Michael Jordan.
As
What's
I go on
up?
a journey through the supermarket.
Yeah, just if you haven't noticed, WrestleMania just ended about an hour ago. WrestleMania 31, possibly one of the best ones we had in years. Really good, great matches all around and stuff like that. And I'm gonna go down of break down every match of what happened and how I would rate it. There was total of 9 matches. 2 of them were during the pre-show, and the rest were during the main event. The 2 during the pre-shows really blew the stadium away. This took place in San Francisco at Levi Stadium. It's
Big
home of
history
the
of
San
it.
Francisco.
The biggest thing ever happened.
Yeah. Basically, yeah, it takes place in San Francisco and stuff like that. The stadium had its most packed, 77,977 people in that arena, the most it could ever hold, the most they've ever had. And they had other events for so many different times, concerts, Niners games, so on and so forth, monster truck rallies, you name it, they had it there. And this is the most packed event they've ever had at this arena. I'm just letting you guys know how massive, how many people were there. It was huge, and the matches went as followed. The first match, I'm going to talk about this one. It was a fatal 4-way match for the WWE Tag Team Championship. So basically 4 teams. The way this match goes is only 2 teams can fight at once, and if they're close to whoever they can tag that person in, whether it's their team or whether it's someone on the opposing team. That's how fatal 4-way and triple threat tag team matches work. And what went on was it was Tyson Kidd and Cesaro with Tyson Kidd's wife Natalya. They went against New Day. Kofi Kingston, Big E with Xavier Wood. That's New Day. Los Matadores, who are Diego and Fernando, and they had El Torito, their mascot. Jimmy and Jey Uso.
Wait, El Torito's their mascot?
Yeah, El Torito.
Sorry.
El Torito. Yeah, he's a wrestler. He's a 33-year-old wrestler from Mexico. He's 4'5". He's a little person, basically. Enough said.
Is he one of those guys who does all the crazy flips and shit?
Yeah, he does. He's kind of like a minute. He's kind of like a shorter luchador wrestler, basically. He's basically just a luchador. That's what Los Matadores are kind of like. They're kind of like luchadors to a point. And the Usos, Jimmy and Jey Uso with Jimmy's wife Naomi. The match went like this. It was a crazy match. A lot of things happened. El Torito got in the middle of a fight or something like that. Tyson Kidd's wife Natalya, who is a member of the Hart family, she grabbed El Torito and caught him in the famous Hart family sharpshooter, which is a submission move, and held him there for, I think, 30 seconds. And I forgot who it was that broke him off, that broke him apart. But it went on. It was a crazy match. Jey Uso, I think it was Jey, he got injured early on. He fought with the shoulder injury in the first place, and then Jimmy was all on his own basically throughout the whole match, and him and his wife Naomi, everybody was on the side of the ring. Him and his wife Naomi leaped out of the ring and did a flying Uso out of the ring and fell on everybody and knocked everybody out on the side of the ring, basically. Long story short, the match came to an end where it was coming to a close where near the ending, I think it was Kofi Kingston and Fernando and Tyson Kidd were basically on the top ropes, basically right next to each other. I think it was Diego and Diego and Jimmy Uso were trying to pick him up, and Big E and Cesaro grabbed those two that were trying to lift them up and picked them both up. If you know Big E and Cesaro, they're both giant, big, huge guys. Cesaro's a Swiss Superman, basically. Big E Langston's just a
I like
giant.
that description, a fucking Swiss Superman.
That's what they call him, the Swiss Superman. That's what Cesaro's called, this is Swiss. You know Grand Theft Auto 5, Simeon? He looks like Simeon. He looks just like Simeon.
Oh, okay, I got it.
Simeon. Yeah, I call him Simeon in real life. He looks like Simeon, the Armenian auto dealer. He looks just like him. And, that's what Cesaro looks like. And Cesaro picks him up and Big E picks up Cesaro's partners at the top of Big E's lift, and they both lift him up, and it's like they're each holding a guy, and that guy's holding another guy, and they pull the superflex, which are basically pulling them off and stuff, and 6 of them collapsed. Long story short, Cesaro pins, I think, Kofi or Diego. I forgot which one it was. He pinned one of them, and Tyson Kidd and Cesaro retained their championships. Next match, the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, basically, for the Andre the Giant Memorial Trophy. It was, I think, 30 wrestlers.
Rest in peace, Andre.
Yeah, he's been dead for quite a few years, but he's been dead since I was like 4 years old.
That was when I stopped watching wrestling, to be honest, when Andre the Giant died.
Yeah, but what happened was the match started. Curtis Axel was doing his lame Axel Mania thing, and he was the first to get eliminated.
Was he trying to pose the muscles and everything?
Yeah, he was acting like Hulk Hogan, ripped his shirt off and stuff like that. He didn't
trying
even
to
enter in
the shirt off.
He didn't even enter in the Royal Rumble. He was knocked out by Eric Rowan before that, and he says, "I've never been eliminated. I'm still fighting the Royal Rumble." This ridiculous thing going out Axelmania. Just last week, Hulk Hogan and Snoop Dogg beat the living shit out of him.
Wait, Snoop Dogg? Wait, Snoop Dogg's
Snoop Dogg and Hulk Hogan.
Wait, Snoop Dogg and Hulk Hogan came into a match and beat the shit out of somebody.
Curtis Axel.
Where the fuck have I been? I need to be watching this shit now.
It's
this
on
has now piqued my interest.
If you have Hulu, watch it. It's on Raw, on Hulu. On Hulu, it's WWE Raw. It's on. And Curtis Axel was the first one. Everybody picks Curtis Axel because they're pissed off at him for stupid little Axelmania. So all 29 of them pick up Curtis Axel, walk from one side of the ring to the other, to roll him out. Curtis Axel is the first to be eliminated. Adam Rose and Fandango are beating each other. They get thrown over the top rope, and they're hanging on to the side, and they start beating each other. So someone runs in. I think it was the Big Show pushes it, or Big Show or Kane pushes them both out. Then Alex Riley gets knocked out by Kane. Zack Ryder gets knocked out. Bo Dallas gets knocked out. Hideo Autonomy, who's an NXT wrestler, starts a really short guy, mind you. I'm gonna look at his height. He's really short. He's 5'9", which is short to be a professional wrestler, mind you. He gets picked. He starts trying to punch a 400 and some odd pound, 7 foot tall Big Show, and he tries to punch him and stuff like that. I think they say he was 500 pounds. Big Show picks him up and throws him out throws him out like a rag doll, basically.
Do you hear in the background like circus music, like dun 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 dun?
And what went on is Diego and Fernando were eliminated. Sin Cara was eliminated. Tyson Kidd, Mark Henry, Connor, Victor, Darren Young, Heath Slater, Titus O'Neil, Jack Swagger, Big E, Xavier Wood, Kofi Kingston, Eric Rowan, Goldust, Kane, Jimmy Uso, Cesaro, Ryback, and then Miz and Mizdow and the Big Show were left. What happened was Miz and Mizdow had this long little rivalry where Mizdow, Damian Sandow was playing the stunt double. It was so hilarious. Mizdow would impersonate everything Miz did, and one of the things after like the ending of a match between him and what's his name, Sheamus basically picked Miz up, and Mizdow was impersonating everything Sheamus was forcing Miz to do. He did YMCA, and Mizdow was doing the same thing. It was that's how ridiculous it was. He says, "You help me or you're fired," and Mizdow grabs the Miz and throws him out of the ring. While he's throwing him out of the ring, he screams, "I quit." Gets in a fight with the Big Show, and he almost had the Big Show out, but the Big Show picks him up, headbutts him out of the ring, and wins the Andre the Giant Memorial Trophy. Perfect.
So just to clarify, Sheamus, he's Irish, right?
Yeah, he's the Irish, the red-headed Irish wrestler.
Oh, these names.
Yeah, it's hilarious. It was during Night at the Hell in the Cell earlier this year. It was hilarious. He did the YMCA thing with the Miz. Long story short, that's how the Big Show won. That's the pre-show basically. And the first match.
Wait, that's a lot of shit to go on though.
Yeah, that's
only a pre-show.
Yeah, and they were both amazing matches. They blew us all away. Both those matches blew everyone away, and these were wrestling fans who were very critical of WWE's dumbass mistakes over the last year, and they finally were applauding WWE for what they did. And every match, in my opinion, was exceptional today. First up, the 7-man ladder match for the WWE Intercontinental Championship match. The match that was first won by Pat Patterson. He comes out and puts the match on the rope and has it raised up so that you have to get a ladder to get it. Pat Patterson, the first ever Intercontinental champion winner. And what happens next is the match features Daniel Bryan, Wade Barrett, a.k.a. Bad News Barrett, R-Truth, Dean Ambrose, Luke Harper, Dolph Ziggler, and Stardust, or better known as Cody Rhodes, son of Dusty Rhodes.
You cut off.
God damn, dude, that's a lot of shit.
Son of Dusty Rhodes. And what happened
was a lot of shit.
It was a crazy match. Highlights was that they all were smashing each other against ladders. They propped the ladder up against like the safety barricade in the ring. And what happened was Bad News Bear picked up Dean Ambrose, threw him against it, broke the ladder in half. The metal ladder snapped. The aluminum ladder snapped in half. And what happened next?
You gotta think that these guys are, man, the amount of abuse that these guys do. Like, no matter your opinions on what the show is about or whatever, but like the shit that they have to do, you know what I mean, man? Like, that's some brutal stuff.
Yeah,
like and getting thrown against a goddamn ladder. Yeah. Like nobody's gonna like that shit.
Dean Ambrose has taken worse. But what happened next was it all came down to Daniel Bryan and Dolph Ziggler. These two are fan favorites to the extreme, and they were headbutting each other. Daniel Bryan, who does the yes chants, yes, 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 when he enters the ring with the full beard and looks like a goat, basically. He headbutts Dolph Ziggler one too many times, and Dolph Ziggler passes out, falls off the ladder, hits the ring. Daniel Bryan wins his first ever Intercontinental Championship round. And that match lasted 13 minutes long. Randy Orton versus Seth Rollins. This is the first match Seth Rollins was in. Randy Orton fights Seth Rollins. Long story short, his security guards try to come in. Randy Orton DDTs him on the ring side. Basically, he does a top rope.
Holy shit, that thing was loud. My bad.
It's okay. He's shopping, by the way, Lance. But Randy Orton does his like second rope DDT, but he does it from the ringside, and he sends their heads crashing into the ground, the padded ground. It's not really actually hard concrete, but he sends Noble Mercury into there. Seth Rollins goes for a curb stomp. He literally lifts his head up, sends Seth Rollins, fly in the air. He RKOs him, finishes that match, pins Seth Rollins. That match lasted 13 minutes and 15 seconds long. The next match is something all wrestling fans from the 90s wished for. Triple H versus WCW legend Sting. If you know Sting, you would know how amazing this match is. Sting versus Triple H. What happened was Sting came out and he had this amazing like drummer, people wearing the Sting face paint, and he comes out with his music and he does his signature walkout, and then it comes Triple H's. I forgot to tell you this one, JT, but he comes out basically in a Terminator theme. Last year it was a Viking warlord thing. He came out last year as a Viking warlord when he faced Daniel Bryan, but this year he came out as the Terminator, and Arnold Schwarzenegger introduced him in the match. And he walks out, takes off his Terminator armor, and walks to the ring. And it was amazing what they did with that one.
Holy shit, this fucking thing is loud. Like, I try to mute it, and it won't let me mute it. And then somehow the camera's on.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
like,
always
how the
loud.
fuck is that doing that? God damn.
Yeah, it always makes that loud noise. But what happened next was the match lasted for a little bit. Sting had him in this. Sting was beating the shit out of Triple H, basically like pounding the hell out of him. Then you hear the D-Generation X theme song going off. Break It Down, that theme song. Out of nowhere, the New Age Outlaws, Billy Gunn and Jesse James come running out with X-Pac, Sean Waltman. They all come running out and try to interfere, but Sting knocks all three of them out and on the side of the ring. And Sting catches Triple H and the Scorpion's Deathlock, which is basically like a sharpshooter, Sting's own version of the sharpshooter. And what happens next? Shawn Michaels is there, and he super kicks Sting right in the face, or snatches him, musics him, and knocks Sting out. Triple H has a near fall, and then out of nowhere, you hear the NWO, the New World Order theme song go off, and you see Hulk Hogan.
Got his revenge.
Hulk Hogan. Who else? Scott Hall and Kevin Nash. Scott Hall and Kevin Nash, a.k.a. known as
Scott Hall.
Yeah, he got arrested, but he was acquitted.
They all get acquitted.
Yeah, but
what happened was
did he do that Juggalo movie?
Yeah, but what happened? They forgave each other. I'm not sure what happened. Scott Hall and Kevin Nash, they walked out, and they are better known as Diesel and Razor, Big Daddy Cool Diesel, Razor Ramon, you know them by name. They both walk out in the NWO theme song. They walk out. Hall, Nash, and Hogan walk out. They take out D-Generation X and beat the snot out of all three of them. Wow. Everyone's cheering. Everybody's dream has come true. And what happens next? Shawn Michaels is still there. Triple H hits him with sledgehammer, his signature weapon, Triple H is famous for. Then Hulk Hogan hands Sting the black bat, and Sting snaps the sledgehammer's wooden handle in half, basically. Long story short, Triple H knocks Sting out with the head of the sledgehammer, pins Sting. They all get in the ring with each other. They both get up, and Sting and Triple H shake hands. And that's how that match ended. That was the longest match of the night, 18 minutes and 36 seconds.
Shit, I remember one match that was like an hour.
Yeah, and what happened next was, and that match happened, and they then had a musical break. What happened next was they had Skylar Grey sing the WrestleMania theme songs, Rise. And Money and Power by Kid Ink as well. Kid Ink was singing Money and Power, and that lasted like a couple minutes. And then the next match was AJ Lee and Paige versus the Bella Twins. AJ Lee is the wife of CM Punk, for those of you who don't know who she is. Paige is a very famous wrestler from England. She's very popular in England. Just ask an English person who Paige is, and they'll probably tell you who she is. Or Brittany Knight, whatever one you want to call her by. And the Bella Twins, if you've watched WWE over the last 5 years, you know who Nick and Brie are. Match lasts. AJ Lee gets knocked out. Paige is the only one in the ring. Finally overcomes the Bellas, breaks out of a rack attack, and they get in this like fight to the death. Paige throws Nikki and Brie out of the ring, jumps out of the ring, and lands right on top of him. Gets back in the ring, somehow tags AJ Lee back in. AJ Lee grabs Nikki, catches her in the Black Widow submission move. Brie tries to stop her, but Paige drags her out of the ring, throws her against the steel steps, and Brie taps out. That match was the shortest of the night, 6 minutes and 42 seconds. The previous match was the longest. This match was the shortest. That led up to John Cena versus Rusev and Lana. Rusev went through an undefeated streak throughout his whole WWE career over the last year and a half, and Rusev kept winning every match with this famous move, the Accolade, which is kind of reminiscing to the Iron Sheik's finishing submission move.
Mm-hmm.
If you remember the Iron Sheik, they both were wrestling.
Yeah.
And what happened next was John Cena was caught in that style of a finisher, finishing submission move like how the Iron Sheik would do, reminiscing of what Hulk Hogan did, the Iron Sheik. John Cena lifts Rusev up, sends him against the back, against the corner. They basically copied that match. Long story short, Rusev's manager, Lana, tries to interfere with the match. Cena runs up to her and tells her to leave. Rusev tries to take Cena out. Cena and the ref jump out of the way. He knocks Lana. This really, really petite woman, not really trained to fight, really hurts her when she falls out of the ring. And the funniest thing was a bunch of refs had to carry her out. 2 refs had to carry her out. That's how badly she was hurt. Cena hits an AA on Rusev and finally defeats the Russian for the United States Championship. Yikes. Next thing that happened was a confrontation. Stephanie McMahon and Triple H, husband and wife, they were out there talking about how great they were and stuff like that as the Authority. Then you hear, can you smell what the Rock's got cooking? Then the Rock comes out and trash talks them. Stephanie McMahon slaps him and says, do you really want to hit a woman like that? I don't think so.
And then he hits her.
Yeah, no, he doesn't hit her.
Oh. I was gonna say, like, isn't that the setup? Isn't that every time?
No, that's not what happened. No, he walks out of the ring, walks aside, finds Ronda Rousey, who's sitting in the audience. If you don't know who Ronda Rousey is, she's an undefeated UFC MMA championship champion. She's undefeated in the UFC. A 28-year-old beautiful woman who's like the deadliest woman on the planet. Deadliest unarmed woman.
Was she the one in the Expendables movies?
I think so. Let me look. I'm gonna look her up.
She was a badass in that movie. She's one of my favorite characters. I don't get a lot of the media people talk about shit like, oh, we don't have enough fucking people doing it. I'm like,
Ronda Rousey is like one of the toughest women. I always have to say the women that try to act tough. She was in the Expendables 3. She played Luna.
Yeah, I don't think you need to say toughest women on that one. It's just a fucking tough person.
She interrupted the match, and what she did was she basically picked Triple H up and smashed him on the ground. Triple H is like 6 foot. Let me look him up. Hunter Semsley or Triple H, whatever you call him by, or Hunter or Triple H.
Thank you.
He's 6'4", 265 pounds, and she sends him to the ground. This guy is buff as hell, and Ronda Rousey just sends him to the ground, and then Stephanie tries to grab him, and he gets her in a lock. And Stephanie McMahon is 5'8" tall, same size as Ronda Rousey, a little bit shorter, I think, but she grabs her and catches her in immense pain. And she starts screaming, finally lets go. Stephanie runs out of the ring. The Rock didn't have to hit her. Ronda Rousey hit her. And hurt her really badly, too. Everyone was cheering. The entire audience, you could barely hear the announcers talking. That's how loud the fans were cheering.
Yikes. Funny in Leto?
What?
In LA, get it funny because like
you're cutting in and out. You're cutting in and out.
Like, you know when you're like, I'm gonna hit you.
You're cutting in and out, Michael.
But
Michael,
I gotta go.
Let him say it. Let him say it.
Okay. All right. Okay, next match, and that match lasted, Cena and Rusev lasted 14 minutes. The whole confrontation lasted like 6 minutes of what I've seen of, Michael will come back in pretty soon. What happened was, The Undertaker versus Bray Wyatt. Undertaker had an undefeated streak for 21 years until last year, where he faced Brock Lesnar and was defeated for the first time in WrestleMania. And what happened was it was 21-2 now in that WrestleMania. And what happened was Bray Wyatt was playing on this like creepy character throughout the whole last 2 years. Basically, he was playing this like incredibly creepy character 3 years. And what happened next was The Undertaker comes out in this new look. He has reminiscing of the American Badass, but he also has he's also still going by the Dead Man personality, but he's wearing pants this time, not a wrestling suit like he has in the past. And he walks out, gets in this incredible match with Bray Wyatt, lasts 15 minutes. Bray Wyatt had him for a couple times for like the first 10 minutes. Undertaker turned around a few times, got caught in the Sister Abigail finisher from Bray Wyatt twice, I think. The Undertaker breaks out, hits him with the Tombstone Piledriver the first time, goes to the pin. Bray Wyatt breaks out of that, shocks everybody because you never break out of the Tombstone Piledriver ever. And he does it one last time and pins Bray Wyatt. And everybody was happy. The Undertaker looks much younger than he did last year. I think he exercised better. He was better healthy. He was healthier than he was last year. The man's 50 years old. The Undertaker's 50 years old.
Yeah.
Bray Wyatt's, I think, 32. So you get how much of a stress that is on the Undertaker.
Because Undertaker was more experienced. He was touring when he was like 20, 28, 27, 26. He did it for a long time, man.
10. He's 6'10", 299 pounds. That is not a small guy. Yeah,
I know. He's been around since like the freaking early 90s and 80s. It's no joke how this guy started out.
Yeah. It was amazing. He actually beat. He's an amazing character. He's had different persona changes. He's had the American Badass. He's had different things. Big Evil, basically, is what some people called him, where he dressed up like a biker. Everybody's hoping he'll go back to that pretty soon. And what happened next is cool. It was like a fusion of the Dead Man and Big Evil biker mode of him, and it was pretty cool how he did that. He had MMA gloves on, and he was just
everyone liked him as the biker.
Yeah, and he was a badass, basically. That's what he was. Yeah, and what happened next was he fought that match, lasted 15 minutes, and beat Bray Wyatt. Still an incredible match. That's all I have to say. I liked it, and they're all amazing matches. They made me believe in WrestleMania, the WWE again. This WrestleMania, they learned from the past mistakes.
Because it's a show. It's the best show on earth, man. What do you expect?
Yeah, but they actually listened to the fans before that, saying we don't like that. Nobody. Here's the next match. It was a match between Brock Lesnar. This is a championship match, the main event. Brock Lesnar with the legendary Paul Heyman as a manager. Those of you who don't know who Paul Heyman is, you've never really watched WWE, because you know, or even ECW, because you know who Paul Heyman is. He's a legend, basically. And with against Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns is related to The Rock. He's part of the Anoa'i family, the Maivia family. He is grandson of High Chief Maivia, basically. That whole match, he's related to that family. And what happened next was this like really long match between the two. Lesnar was tearing him to pieces, did 7 German suplexes on him.
Yikes.
7 German suplexes and 3 F5s.
And he still...
Yeah, and he survived. And the reason why... that happened to The Undertaker as well. And The Undertaker lost after the 3rd German suplex. Or no, the 3rd F5. But Reigns powered out, and he was about to say, I had enough, dragged him outside, was about to send him against the ring post. Reigns throws Lesnar against the ring post. He hits it head first. Reigns walks right back in the match, and when Lesnar gets in, Reigns does this leaping punch, what he calls a Superman punch. First time, second time, third time, then he spears him once, and then he tries to pin him, doesn't work. Spears him again, and it doesn't work then. And what happens next is they both collapse to the ground after an F5, I think. I'm not sure how it happened. I can't think right now of how that happened, but they're both knocked to the ground. They're both passed out, basically. And then you hear Seth Rollins, the Money in the Bank holder, Seth Rollins, who lost earlier tonight to Randy Orton, comes out with the Money in the Bank. runs out, hands it to the ref. The ref hands it to Lillian Garcia, the ring announcer, and Lillian says, "This match, Seth Rollins has cashed in his Money in Bank, and this match is now a triple threat match." Greatest turning point in the WWE history. I personally don't like Seth Rollins, but he is an amazing heel. Heel meaning villain. And what happens next is Rollins versus Rollins, Reigns, and Michael's back. Rollins, Reigns, and Lesnar are fighting after that Money in the Bank cash. And what happens next? Lesnar's about to pick Rollins up and hit him with an F5. Reigns spears, basically a spear is a charging shoulder block, knocks Rollins out of Lesnar's hands. Lesnar falls out of the ring. Reigns is on the ground and stuff, trying to get back up. Rollins comes running and hits him with the curb stomp. Curb stomp is basically just a running stomp where he sends their head right into the ground, if you know what a curb stomp is from the movies and stuff like that. That's what basically Rollins did, was a curb stomp, and knocks him out and pins Roman Reigns and wins the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Give me a second here. Okay, and and that's how the match ended. Basically, is Reigns and Rollins wins it, and that's how WrestleMania ends. Amazing matchup. Okay, I have to get off for a second. I have to go talk to someone. I'll let you talk. And
go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Give me your point. I'll be back in a second.
Okay. The only thing that's memorable about WrestleMania, it's always the freaking drama. It's always the freaking drama.
That's what it is, though. I mean, that's what makes it, like, amazing to me, because, like, I'm not really, like, into the wrestling thing, but I'm into the characters, the persona, all that shit.
Yeah.
That's amazing to me, because it's like, that's that has to be them 24 hours a day when they're in front of people. You know what I mean? They don't break that shit.
Okay.
I know they don't break that. They don't break that stuff at all.
What stuff?
Who they are.
Who they are.
What? What do you mean?
It's like Gold. You remember when
Goldust?
Goldust decided to go back to Dusty Rhodes.
Yeah. No, that's a different person. Goldust is Dusty Rhodes' son.
Yeah.
His name is Dustin Rhodes. He's Dustin
Rhodes. Yeah, you're right.
Cody Rhodes is also Dusty Rhodes' son, and Cody Rhodes is also known as Stardust, who was in the Intercontinental match.
So, like, the thing that I was talking about, like, it's like that amazes me is, like, they have to these guys have to be that full-on persona 24 hours a day. That's amazing fucking work. You know what I mean? Like, that's grit, dude. That's some real shit. Because, like, if you told anybody else to do some shit like that, they couldn't fucking do that. You know what I mean? I think a lot of people, wow, this shit interesting. This is why.
Yeah, because they wouldn't be doing it. They wouldn't be doing it for the money.
No. They pay him really well, but that is a very physically inducing sport.
I know. We saw what happened to a lot of people who trained under them.
Yeah, Edge, Adam Copeland, aka Edge. You know who Edge is, right? He had a horrific neck injury that got him out of wrestling. He can't wrestle anymore because of his neck injury back in like 2011.
Yeah.
Christian, his tag team partner, had a horrific concussion. I don't think he's wrestling anymore. Yeah, so
he's acting, I think.
Oh yeah, they're just acting now. But before that, they couldn't wrestle. Chris Jericho hasn't been wrestling much. He's been on and off.
Actually, he's still around. He's just not there.
He's on and off, but he's not really wrestling
because he's doing his music career.
Yeah, but also he's getting older, and it's starting to get to him.
No, really, he still has a fan base, surprisingly.
Yeah, he has a fan
I have
base.
him on
Yeah, but
Twitter.
yeah, he still has a great fan base, but he makes limited appearances anymore these days. So
I know. I'm not too worried about it. I know that he's probably trying to motivate people now because
all I have to say about
been
this WrestleMania, it's one of the best I've seen in years. Last year had a good ending, but it didn't have as good matches as this one did. It was ridiculous last year, but this year
Yeah.
it had an amazing finishing match and stuff like that. Rollins successfully cashed in the Money in the Bank. We all knew it was going to happen. We thought he was going to wait till someone won, but he didn't. He cashed it in during that match, and that's how the match ended. That's all I'm really going to say about that.
They made some memorable matches, man. It's not like this is the first time it happened. It's like ever since when they did the Andre thing.
Yeah.
I think it's because they wanted to show. I think they wanted to show. Remember, Hulk Hogan had to pick him up, had to lift him.
And send
he
him
tried
to
his
the ground.
hardest just to lift him. Yeah, to lift him off the ground.
It was a memorable match. Andre did a good job of playing a heel, but
yeah, he was.
Yeah, all I have to say is it's a 10 out of 10 WrestleMania. All the matches were exceptional. It's not just my opinion; it's a lot of people's opinions on Twitter I've read so far. The majority of people loving it. A bunch of little bratty kids saying, "Oh, I hate it because a bad guy won the final match." Are you kidding me? That was the better part. It was the fact that it was a heel that won it. I love it. It's not
Don't worry, man. Don't worry, kids. The good guys are gonna win it back. Don't worry. It's always
sometime soon. Roman Reigns, but they rushed Roman Reigns. They really rushed him.
I think Ric Flair did the same thing. He fought Hulk Hogan.
Mm-hmm. He fought Randy Savage back in the WWF days.
Yeah,
WCW,
that's true.
He fought Hulk Hogan. He didn't fight Hulk Hogan in WWF. Because Bischoff rushed to have them fight that match, the match that no one else could see.
Yeah.
And then they hired Roddy Piper to fight him and defeat Hulk Hogan.
But this is back in the old days. This was back in the old days of WWE. Sorry, man.
Yeah, but long story short, it was an amazing WrestleMania, and that's all I could really say. I heavily suggest you guys watch the WWE Network, that whole $9.99 thing. Go to WWE.com and watch it. I'm not advertising them. I'm just saying that's where you can watch it. WWE.com, and look for the network. You'll find it. It's $10 a month. No little guarantee. You only do one payment a month type of thing. There's no commitment thing they have to do. I heavily suggest it.
Yep.
Okay, well I think I've said enough about WrestleMania. Okay. I'm gonna be signing out pretty soon. I've been your host Leon Gunstill with JT Vega and Michael Jordan coming on and off every now and then. Okay, we'll see you guys later.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Thank you all who is going to be viewing this afterwards, the broadcast. See ya.